Hi, I'm Diane Corcoro. Welcome to this week's Technology Channel videocast. With me, I have a special guest, Didi Dayton, who is Vice President of Worldwide Channels and Alliances at Cylance. Welcome, Didi.
Thank you, Diane. Great to see you.
Good to see you again. It seems that we just got back from Didi's Partner Advisory Council, and I wanted to take just a few minutes today and just run through a little bit of those questions about how your overall council went. Is that okay, Didi?
Absolutely.
So, how long have you been doing one?
I've done, partner advisory councils for the last 8 to 10 years, but at Cylance, this was our second. So we did our first last year around the same time.
Oh, very cool. So once a year.
Once a year, although what's different about this year is that we also did an EMEA partner forum. So that's something we had never done before. So we did the US Partner Advisory Council, and that's a smaller group. The EMEA forum was a larger group of, 50 or so partners that came from all over Europe, which was really exciting.
That's pretty cool. So they all over and just as a bigger group though. So you didn't have that kind of one-on-one or like in the advisory council, there was only about what, 15 people there?
We had 17 partners there this year. Last year was a little bit bigger. We had 24. The difference being that we wanted to have a lot more buddying up with our executives. The partner forum was more us presenting to them. And the Partner Advisory Council is really them telling us what they want.
So why do you do a Partner Advisory Council?
There's really a few reasons. The number one is because for us, it's all about the people. And we know that partners can choose. And, we know there's so many vendors out there to work with, especially in the world that we're in, which is endpoint security. So we want to make sure that they feel that sense of, authorship as far as the programs go, the sense that we're really listening to them from a technical standpoint, and then that they have access to our executives, which is absolutely critical. And then, for us, it's all about, managing the relationship people to people, not process to process.
Yeah, look, you guys had a lot of your executives there, only one absent, and that's because of flights out of San Francisco.
Yeah, so crazy event. I mean, poor Daniel Doimo, our new COO, he was stuck in San Francisco. But yeah, everyone was there. We had representation across all of our functional groups. And that was also really critical to us to make sure that partners understood that during the entire course of the event, they could reach out to any particular function and that we would cover all our bases.
So what partners, what was the criteria for who got to come, those 17 partners that got to come?
Well, my number one criteria is they have to be fun. They have to be good. No, it was really the top partners. So I was thrilled to see that we had literally the top partners in cybersecurity today. They represented the best and the brightest, and they really did give us their full attention and focus for the entire event, which was outstanding. That was the one thing they said was, this was really different in the sense that you had a chance to engage, but it was also an opportunity to, listen. And the only thing we didn't give them was any breaks.
Yeah, they didn't get any breaks at all. No, it was pretty packed and running just a tad bit late.
For the most part, we stayed on track, but it was hard not to give extra time to the customer that came. I mean, wow, what an
oh my God, he was so good.
Yeah.
How did you get that? Was from one of the partners nominated that guy?
Yeah. So Dom Griot from Atreon, and you know them well.
Yes.
Dom's invited, his friend who lived in Austin, and we just happened to have the event there. And he came and gave us just an incredible overview of why they chose the technology, what's the differentiator for them, the regulations nearby, all of the pressures on them to deliver on an immediate solution. And really, it was proof validation point that this was the right technology for this time in the market.
Yeah, he was great as a customer and as a guy, very open to the conversation and very sharing and like pretty much no bullshit. It was pretty awesome.
He was so straightforward. I have rarely seen a customer be like that. I mean, he basically was like, I love this. I hated that. You guys could do this better. And gave us 3 lists of 3 really important things that we can do with the technology. It was amazing.
Yeah. So what is your kind of one biggest takeaway from your overall event?
So well, aside from adding breaks, we decided to keep it deliberately small in terms of the focus and the volume of partners. We also decided to keep it so that they had an opportunity to speak amongst themselves, and you were there for that piece. And thank you so much, by the way, for moderating that. I think they got a lot of value out of it. A lot of the same recurring themes come up, in terms of profitability, in terms of, management. And the takeaway was, when we did have our conversations, they were really narrowly focused around the things that everyone agreed were topical. So, having that first, opportunity to funnel what their concerns were and not focus the conversation on instances that happen rarely or that only affect a small portion of the population. So that gave us the conduit to really be very focused on what we were trying to do.
I was really impressed in how quickly that team, and I didn't know how long, if as a advisory council, how long they'd been together, or if they, knew each other from a lot of other events. And we did a nice, we did a nice little round robin in terms of introductions, and they kind of were goofing on each other. So that was really nice. And then they came together really quickly to be able to kind of align around some barriers, as well as some suggestions or recommendations for how to remove those barriers for Cylance. And I was really impressed with their commitment and dedication to doing that in a short time and for you guys. It was really, I do a lot of these, and it was really special.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, for us, we wanted it to be simple. We wanted it to be a manageable calendar and flexible. You mentioned being a little bit behind. We actually designed it in such a way that it was modular, so that if the topics from the first session with you made us change the layout of what the actual schedule was, we had other topics that we could have introduced. So it was really important for us to get that off the ground. And then we also started off the day before with a very technical session. So that was led by the VP of our sales engineers. And that was huge.
Yeah, I mean, and they all went out to TopGolf for fun and games, and some of them took it a little bit more seriously than I had expected.
Well, it's hard when you're up against John Giacomini. He's a tough nut.
Right. Brings his own clubs to TopGolf. I'm like, all right.
That was Gabe. Yeah, that was impressive. Yeah, Gabe was always prepared.
I was just like, wow, that was pretty cool. So what feedback did the partners give you about the session, the agenda, the topics, the technical part on front, just kind of overall, not necessarily the specific things around kind of the feedback of,
winning more leads,
more leads.
For us, the big takeaway was really the access to the executives. So the resounding feedback that we got was, we really felt like you guys listened. And many of these PACs, there's so much content that they don't have an opportunity to share. And when they do share something, they don't necessarily feel like the vendor is listening so much as automatically being defensive. And that was really important to us, which is why we paired folks to sit next to one another during the session. And then we also had a seating arrangement at dinner to make sure that they could mingle amongst themselves and have, that equal opportunity.
Yeah, I thought that you got a really great access to the executives, and a really good job from your executive teams of asking clarifying questions to the partners and not fighting too much or at all when the partner said something that might have been triggering, or even stuff that you had changed that they didn't know about. So I thought your executives, you guys did a really good job at prepping them on like how to get feedback.
Yeah. So, we wanted them to have tangible value out of the event. And even the choice of location had been suggested by the partners the year prior. We had done it before at our headquarters. And what we found was that the executives are under so much pressure with their time that they would come, present, and then go back to the office. And this time the partners were like, look, if you want to make it close to an airport and narrow it down to just one real day and pack it up, but just make it one day, we're fine with that. We would rather have a full day session in and out rather than trying to extend it over 4 days or make it a week-long event. So we took that feedback from last year's session, and that was really critical.
Yeah, I thought the timing was really great. I mean, you guys did have, half a day, some technical, some fun for an evening event, and then like the full day, the next day, just to kind of wrap it up. So what would you do differently next time?
I would bring my own golf clubs. No. I would probably spend a little bit more time with the individuals. So doing more one-on-one sessions with the partners that wanted to stay before or after. So that was something that we did last year, and we didn't do it this year. We'd also done headshots last year because, you know, we're from Southern California. So we had video, we had headshots, and this year we decided to keep it very low key. But we did want them to have some nice takeaways. So the other thing that they've asked for is to have more regular contact. And so that's something that we'll be doing definitely as a follow-up.
So more like as a call, but not more than one PAC event in a year.
Well, it was interesting because they said they would be interested in getting together more than once in the year. And I love the rotation of your channel chief events too, by the way. I love the 6-month rotation because you really feel like from every 6 months, there's some significant event that happens with at least one of the members there. And there are a lot of learnings that happen. I mean, for us as an relatively fast growing, I mean, we're extremely fast growing, but as a relatively small company, there are so many changes that happen within a 6-month period. It's pretty outstanding.
Yeah, and we do a lot of PACs. We see that as the team or the PAC members see more value and more contribution from you guys and following up on the stuff that they give you, they start asking for it every 6 months, right? It only comes down to a year if they go, oh, I have to go give a day or 2 days of my time and nothing's going to come of that. That's really when we see them kind of slowing down on how many times they want. But it's really great to hear that they're excited about accelerating that, because twice a year is what we see kind of that mature PAC going to.
Yeah, and for us, it's all about being easy to do business with. And so that was a big part of it, was keeping it centrally located so no one had to fly all the way across the country to make it there.
Yeah, painful for everybody in Austin. It was great. Yeah, great time in Austin, other than some flight challenges out of San Francisco. Yeah. Didi, thank you so much for joining me on the Technology Channel videocast this week. Always great to hear from you, and we will see you soon.
All right, thank you.